Hi, this is Bill Jurgens. I'm a member of the Solidarity Committee, and I'm joined also today with Don DiJulia. And Don DiJulia is a tremendous member of our Solidarity Committee, and he has with him Taylor Stokes, who is our first recipient of our internship. So we're really excited today. The Solidarity Committee has been in effect for 2 years, and one of our initiatives was to create an internship program. And so we're so excited to have Taylor with us today. She's a part of that. She is also the president of the Student Government Association at St. Joseph's University. So, Don, would you've been close to Taylor. Would you talk a little about Taylor and how it came about this internship program, please?
All right, good. Thank you. One of the ways it came about, when we were talking about trying to create a more diverse and inclusive environment in the great sport of rowing, Bill's initiative, I think, was his idea of, why don't we look into internships? So fist bump on that one. So we'll have 4 local schools. So we raise money to create the internship slot, paid internship, 4 local schools, St. Joseph's being one of them, then created a search for an intern. Taylor, being the president of our student body, a resident assistant, former high school rower. Her sister was the first black captain of our rowing team, so she was a candidate. The challenge was, she's so busy doing all of her stuff. Can you fit this in? She said, I'll be glad to. So with that, Taylor, thank you. Part of little Dad Vale Regatta history. And so why don't give our listeners and viewers an idea. Growing up in West Philadelphia, which isn't a hot spot for rowing,
right, how
that thought came to mind, and then you rowed in high school, and then the idea of the internship in college. So tell that story, I guess, in sequence, if you would.
And thank you for having me, and for the opportunity to even create this Solidarity Committee. It's very much needed. I rowed at Notre Dame, and it was about a 2-hour commute. I would come from the boathouse in Conshohocken and then have to come down to West Philly every day. So it was about, practice would end at 5:30 and I would get home around 8:30, and I did that for 4 years every day. And just being able to give back to my community. Rowing does come down to an equity issue. Having access to the boathouse, which can be in various locations, and having the resources to be able to afford the uni and be able to participate in the sport, it comes down to a larger equity issue. So through the work that the internship has provided for me, being able to figure out what resources that we can provide to other people, and resource guides about diversity, equity, and inclusion. Through the internship, I created a resource guide that I'm going to be sharing with the coaches and with the Solidarity Committee to be able to provide and foster more inclusive spaces and to continue to keep the conversation going.
That's tremendous. We realized Lauren Vitas, who also worked very closely with us, she's not here with us today. She's in Italy attending a wedding. So I said, what a tough job you have not being here. But, she talked about that. And Lauren said, no, we're gonna fund this. We've all had internships work for us as athletic directors. But what you just said, we're just so happy that we are funding this. And of course, Lauren was the first to fund a program. And then we had other programs, colleges within the area funded. So we had to raise $4,800 to fund the program. And we're so excited to be able to do this because you just given an answer why. Why we need to make sure it's funded so that opportunities can be exercised, so you can be a part of things,
right,
a greater part of things. So we experienced starting this program, and I cannot express how happy we are to have gotten to this point, because it went through a number of changes along the way. But I can say with the Solidarity Committee that we have, Brian Batiste, also a strong member, athletic director at LaSalle, everyone on it, Jim Hanna, president of the Dadville Association, everyone let us work through these challenges and make sure that we kept moving in the right direction.
Right.
And so Don knows how happy we are because what this means is that we're going to continue with this initiative, and we're going to find people and provide opportunities to them like you have. I don't think there's a better program for a young adult, a college-age student, than a mentorship program,
right,
where you have someone that is there that can talk to you, that can actually support you, get behind you, and be there if you're looking to advance in an organization. I think I was kidding this morning when I said, Don's a great reference for you. And I think that's what the mentorship program is about. It's about having a great chance to move and advance in an organization or in a career, and having people there that will assist you get to that point. So
and if I can add, before we go off, that this internship program is one of the hardcore initiatives that the committee has come out with, but not the only one. That when we started a year or so ago, we had committee members get in touch with all of the historically black colleges and universities in the country to talk about the sport of rowing. The ones that didn't have it, and said, if you want to engage in learning more about the sport and what it would take to begin the sport, we're your resource.
Wow.
So that is an active thing that's going on.
That's amazing.
I reached out to the city council people in the district of where all the regattas are held and said, we want to increase involvement of your local community. So that there was some outreach to local community organizers, some local pastors, which will probably fruit will bear next year. Philadelphia City Rowing Program that hosts students in the city that don't have access to rowing like you did not growing up in West Philadelphia. So trying to stir the pot a little bit in a good way to try to get more inclusive and diverse people involved. So you've been a great help, and a lot of the research and homework that you've done will be a good foundation for us to carry with the committee next year to expand our footprint.
And so people may ask, what does that have to do with the Dadville Regatta? And the Dadville Regatta is situated in a community. And at times we block off the road, and it could create an aggravation for people living in the community. We just want the communities around us to know that we're not here just for ourselves, but one of our core values is being selfless and not just thinking of ourselves, but thinking of other people. So we want to reach out to the communities. We reached out to vendors, and we wanted some African American vendors. We went to the Philadelphia African American Chamber of Commerce, and we told them that that's what we want to do.
Right.
We want to be more inclusive. And we figure we're just one organization, but if many one organizations like us keep moving forward with these initiatives, that we will have society where it should be, socially responsible. You mentioned equity a few times, inclusiveness. All these things are important to us, and I've had friends say to me, is that, you know, it's a nice initiative, but it doesn't last. And what do we say, Di? This will last.
Right.
This will continue because it is important, not just for one segment, but it's important for our whole country.
It's a 5 or 10 year initiative that we've begun.
Yeah.
And see what the results and outcomes are later.
And you're providing a lot of opportunities for people who would not even have that. So just know that the work is needed and it's done, and we see that.
And for those who said it won't continue, I say, watch us. It will continue. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I can't tell you how much it means. It means so much. We're so happy to have you. We're so happy that you appreciate this initiative that we have, and we wish you all the luck in your undertakings in the future.
Thank you.
And always remember that there's a group here that will stand behind you and support you in your efforts. And we're real happy to be in the position that we're in.
Thank you
Great.
again for the opportunity.
Yeah. And thank you, Don.
All right.
For all
Thank
the
you,
work
Hawk.
do.
Way to go. All right.
Okay, well, we'll be joined shortly by Jim Hanna, president of the Dadville Regatta. And so at this time, I'm going to thank you again, and we'll fill in with our next guest. Thank you so much, Taylor. It's a pleasure meeting you. Thank you.